The last time the MLB All-Star Game was held at Dodger Stadium was way back in 1980. Now, the Dodgers were supposed to host the 2020 All-Star Game in Chavez Ravine, but then, well, 2020 itself happened. So the Dodgers will have to wait a while, but as it turns out, not that long. That's because the MLB announced today that the 2022 All-Star Game will head to Dodger Stadium to make up for this year's void. To celebrate that proclamation, and as an excuse to get in another shot of cardboard nostalgia, I thought it would be fun to run through the guys who headed that long ago Midsummer Classic, aided by their baseball cards from that season. Here then are the 1980 All-Star Game starting lineups with their 1980 Topps pasteboards. Catcher: Carlton, Fisk, and Johnny Bench. Hard to argue with a rematch from the classic 1975 World Series, where Fisk became a cult hero for waving and willing the Game 6 winning home run fair, and where Bench helped the Reds to their first Big Red Machine title. Bonus points since this would end up being Fisk's last summer in Beantown. First base: Rod Carew and Steve Garvey. I usually think of Carew as a second baseman, but he was rounding the corner of his career by 1980 and conceded a bit to age by moving to first. For his part, Garvey was a Dodgers legend and part of the LA infield that played together for the better part of a decade. No way he wasn't getting the vote here. Second base: Willie, Randolph, and Dave Lopes. Lopes was part of that storied Dodger infield, and Randolph helped the Yanks win 2 World Series titles in 1977 and 1978, so it was no surprise to see either guy in the starting lineup come July 1980. Third base: Greg Nettles and Ken Reitz. Now, this one is a bit surprising looking back, considering that George Brett and Mike Schmidt won the 1980 MVP awards while playing third for the Royals and Phillies, respectively, and that those teams would square off in the World Series. At All-Star voting time, though, Nettles was a Yankee standout, and Reitz was a first-half 400 hitter. Good enough for the nods here. Shortstop: Bucky Dent and Bill Russell. More Yankee and Dodger mystique here, with Dent a cult hero for his Bucky effin' Dent, if you know what I mean, home run to down the Red Sox in 1978 division tiebreaker, and Russell yet another member of the Dodger blue infield. Left field: Ben Oglivie and Dave Kingman. This slot was all about major power, as Kingman had hit 48 home runs for the Cubs in 1979, and Oglivie would end up with 41 for the Brewers in 1980. Kingman brought enough breeze to his big free swing to cool down the blazing hot ravine, too. Center field: Fred Lynn and Reggie Smith. Smith benefited from the Dodger vote for sure, but the man was underrated and remains so today. Don't be surprised to hear his name come up in future Hall of Fame debates as the modern baseball era lines up to vote a couple more times over the next 5 years. And Lynn was a super-duper star in his prime, which is still going strong in 1980. Right field: Reggie Jackson and Dave Parker. Speaking of super-duper stars, Reggie and Cobra were as big as they came. It's surprising even the expansive outfield at Dodger Stadium was expansive enough to hold their talent and egos. Starting pitchers: Steve Stone and J.R. Richard. You might not think it from looking at this picture, but Stone would go on to craft a long career as an articulate and respected announcer. And Richard was untouchable at times, as intimidating a mound figure as you were likely to find. Alas, within a month of this game, the Astros' great was felled by a stroke. MVP: Ken Griffey. Yeah, he wasn't a starter, but Griffey put the National League on the board with a home run off of Tommy John in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the senior circuit would go on to win the game 4-2. Besides, Griffey was a Red, so he had to be part of this video. Like our video? Then like our videos and subscribe to our channel, waxpackgods.com.